Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. Obviously, we start off with our gacha talk. How did the Champions Meet go for Gemini? Can I just say, it went fantastically. You're looking at certified Gemini Platinum. That's right, I came in first in the grade A groups. It was great. All I can just say is Narita Taishin, the absolute GOAT. Actually, I got a little bit lucky, I think, with my seeding, but we'll speak in a second about that. Hey everyone, right now in Fawnhallow at 6:11 PM on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. But yes, I'm not, if you don't know what's going on with Uma Miss Me, I'm not going to dive into the super details, but basically there's this one character called Narita Taishin. She is really good in the CM, mainly because, how would I put it? Everyone gets access to a basic level of an ability called Straightaway Spurt, but she gets access to the upgraded version called Encroaching Shadow, which only she, at the moment, I don't know if more in the future, will get access to it. And as it turns out, basically the layout of this type of track, I think it's because it's like it ends in a straight or something, means Encroaching Shadow is really, really good. But yes, it was actually pretty like tough competition. I didn't think I would win, like looking at the stats. Someone else had a gold ship who was like really good, had like Straightaway Spurt, had some pretty good passives, like higher stats than mine, like 1.1k in both. And I was like, whoa, okay, you probably won. But Narita Taishin clutched it out in the end. Right, gold ship didn't even come second, it came third. I think we got blocked, so that's why I got to get some nimble navigators on your Umas if you're an end closer. It makes no sense to anyone. But yeah, I'm platinum now, so there you go. I'm happy. Especially after last time, because last time it was like, it happens. It's an interesting thing, actually, gaming talk with his Champions Meet, because it's obviously meant to induce a sense of FOMO, right? Because only certain people can get the titles, but it's interesting in the sense that it's actually like proper PvP in a sense, because I'm very used to gacha games having like sort of pseudo PvP might be the best. Well, okay. It's more like gacha games often use like a ranked system, a ranking system, or like a leaderboard system. That's a better way to put it for PvP. It's basically like who can get a high score on the leaderboard, who can get the most points at the end of the event. By far and away the most common, who can get the shortest time. But this one's actually like you're matching up against players. While it's not live PvP, everyone gets matched up at the same time, essentially, and then they can all watch the simulated event of a race happening. So in a sense, it's kind of like a more direct PvP for a gacha game, not for like an actual game. Which if anything would instill, I think, more, or should instill more FOMO, right? Because like only a certain amount of players can actually get the prestigious platinum title. And it's completely, there's not like an MMR system, and there's nothing you can really, it's not easy really to basically force your way into getting a higher title. Because in other gacha systems, like if it's points, like events points based, which is a very common one for like rhythm games especially, which I'm familiar with, you can just play more and you will get a higher tier. Just because you'll accumulate more score. Or if it's ones where it's like Fire Emblem Heroes or even like Team Trials in Uma Musume, you can just you would spend more money, you would get a stronger unit, and then you'd have a better chance of winning. But this one, it's sort of like, it's interesting because you actually need to build the Umas itself. So while you can spend more to give yourself an advantage, at the end of the day, if you're not putting, you're still going to lose to someone who's put like a bit more time in to actually get a proper build. Because it's more about like sort of neutralizing and getting lucky in a sense. Getting like a good run where things sort of line up. Which money isn't really going to help if you only do one run a day, probably. Helps to a certain extent. But yeah, like I put in like a pretty decent amount of effort for the first one. I came in second, as I say, it was by a neck. I lost to an Ogre cap, is what I remember, and I was like, darn. But this one, I know more about the game now, I understand it a lot better. I was like, okay, let's actually put a genuine bit more effort into it. Even though I started training with parents really, really late for it. So like, my parent I have for my runners are absolutely terrible. There's 3-star blue sparks between them. But there is, I think, 4-star long, something like that. And they had straightaway spell, which is the important part. Anyway, like, but the stats I got in the end were like not astonishingly amazing, because the stat requirements for that CM is insane. But yeah, I'm just glad I pulled up a win. Again, it was lucky. No one else had no reputation, so I definitely had an advantage there. That gold chip I think just must have got blocked, and then the other person for whatever reason was running like 2 pace chasers, which are absolutely terrible in this CM. What does that mean? That basically means they're running like a type of character who does not have as many advantages as the other types of characters I was running. So yeah, I'm happy I got my win. Although this one would have been better to get second in, or maybe not, I don't know. Because in the first CM, for whatever reason, only if you came first you would get like the title rewards. If you came second, you wouldn't, for whatever reason. They changed it in this one to something which is much more sensible, so now you still can get certain titles. But I will forever be down about Taurus Cup titles, because it was the first one and because I came second. Could I got it first? Maybe. Or I could have got like a Kyla instant or whatever it's called, and, you know, would have lost out anyway. But hey ho, we're looking now forward to the next CM, which should be quite a fun one, because it seems like there's actually quite a lot of versatile builds you can put in there. I've established I'm going for 2 groundwork, and maybe I'll put Narita Taishin in just because she's one of my favourite characters. And that's about it. That's my Umu Musume conversation. But it's interesting as well, like that title distribution thing is strange. Like maybe if I got second I would actually resent it more. Because there's a study that's been done, isn't it, where the people who are happiest tend to be like the people who got bronze, because they're just super happy they got they podiumed at all. And then the next most happiest people are people who got first, whereas all like most of it is like relief, if anything. But the people who are unhappiest are the people who got second, because then they're constantly just being like, what if I just pushed myself a little bit more? I could have got that first. I don't know how true that is, I might have paraphrased it wrong, but while I'm talking about it and spreading this information, I might as well look it up. Study people in second unhappy, maybe not unhappy, but responses to hedonically conflicting social comparisons comparing happy and unhappy people. Young people becoming less happy than older people, okay? UK's been ranked for second, okay. I don't know how much of this stuff is true, it might just be absolute garbage nonsense, to be honest. So, not something perhaps I should take too to heart, I would say, but your mileage may vary. Yes, so. But it's an interesting thing, and in some ways I can certainly relate to it, I think, in a way. I don't see myself as a particularly envious person, but I do see myself as quite the perfectionist. I'm very much the type to be like, you know, do something, instead of like being like, oh, that was nice, be like, what could I have done better? This is important. And, you know, certainly taking things too seriously. And when we have this conversation before, you'd be like, oh, you're like super competitive or something. Surprisingly, not really. At least not in the way that you think I'm competitive, I would say. But yes, it is interesting, because I'm like, I'm trying to think for myself, because it's very difficult, I think, to be completely honest with yourself 100% of the time. I think you can very much try to be, but you're always going to be marred by your own perspective of yourself and your intentions, which is not always 100% translate to the actions you take, if that makes sense. Not to like belittle yourself or anyone's self, to be honest, but it's just more like, you know, it's difficult to, sorry, I'm just charging my phone. It's difficult, you know, to get it 100% right, to know yourself 100% exactly, compared to what other people see you like, you know? So yeah, I'm trying to be supremely honest with myself. Would I be happy if I was like second place in something yada yada yada? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Like, I would like to think to myself, I would have been equally happy if I got first, second or third. But that's just definitively not true, you know. While from like a, not productivity, but from like a improvement standpoint, I guess, yeah, I would be equally happy. But not to say that I'm not human in the sense that if I win something, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's completely meaningless. I'd be like, yeah, nice, I won, right? Like, even if it's not the ultimate goal in things, it should still be like a short-term goal if you're taking part in something which has a winner, loser, competition of some metric. Otherwise, it's almost kind of like meaningless. And not meaningless in a sense, I guess it's sort of like a yardstick, or even then you're in competition against yourself, right? What I'm saying is it's a very natural thing to sort of desire competition and also desire to win. But it's more like, I suppose, a reaction afterwards, which can vary quite a lot. Sorry, I'm like continuing about, I'm taking my medicine at the same time because I realise I haven't taken it today. Animal Crossing is very much a time, you know, where I just sort of do other things as well, which are related to my life. You know, if I need to respond to messages, if I need to buy X, Y, Z, that's what I do. What day is today? Wednesday. Thank you on camera. On screen, sorry, timer. Clock even. That's probably the word you would use, huh? So yeah. Even though it's such like quite meaningless, I would say, in the end, winning in one of the champions meets in Uma Musume, it's still like a nice feeling, you know? Especially because this was a bit more unexpected. Like, I wasn't entirely sure if I would even make it to the grade A final, to be honest. I thought it was a bit more tenuous because I was like, oh, I think the characters I made are not quite strong enough. But after I did some of the first races, I was like, okay, I think I have a good chance of getting to the final. I don't know if I'll win the final. And then once I was actually in the final, I was like, whoa, that competition's actually pretty strong. I don't know exactly how I do. And then, you know, winning at the end, it's sort of just like a whoa. You know, there we go. It's nice, I suppose. Fruits of a Labour perhaps is a tad dramatic, I would say, for something I didn't put, like, it's not like I sold my soul for it or anything. I did, mostly I was sustaining myself on 1 run, sometimes 2 or 3 runs. So it's not like there's been anything that dramatic doing it. I didn't sacrifice a lot to do this. But it's nice then, you put time into something and getting some sort of reward out. Ooh, TM Opera O is the racing challenger. I unfortunately joined after TM Opera O, so I never got the opportunity to actually try and pull for her. I certainly think she's a lot of fun though. Yes, that's right. I'm playing a bit of Uma Musume while I'm doing this right now. This is Animal Crossing time, which means perfect time to play a different game. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to, it's like second place. I feel like I'm very much like an all or nothing sort of person. Like I either will come first in something or I will do like significantly worse or something. Is that true? I don't actually know if that's true now I think about it. I thought about that for literally more than a second and I was like, no, I actually think that's definitively false. I think I just lied to you. But I am someone who throws myself fully into things, you know, even if it's something which I might not necessarily care that much about, because I don't know, like, if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it right. It's kind of my thought process for a lot of things. So yeah, so I'm just watching this race and I'm watching the Manhattan Cafe just completely destroy it. I think my gold chip is actually stuck. What the heck, Manhattan Cafe came first? I think gold chip, you got stuck. You got boxed in. Came 15th. That never happens. It's a draw. Yeah, of course. What? How did that happen? We'll try that again. 18 horses is a lot to race against, huh? But yeah, it's second place. I'm trying to think. or times I've got second place. I think board games is actually quite a common one. I feel like I get second place reasonably often. One, because I end up playing board games with one friend and she's very good at board games, so, you know, all credit to her. But two, I have this weird mix of, like, wanting to optimize and then also play my own game, which is probably a weird balance to get. Because it's like I'm tryharding, but then I'm also not tryharding enough in a certain way. I'm doing a second place strategy or something. I don't mean that as like a dissuasion to my friends or anyone I play against, or myself, to be honest. It's just sort of, I'm like, you know, the times I can think of coming second recently have been those board games. Oh, there we go. Now my gold ship's not blocked anymore. She's absolutely destroying. Oh my gosh, she's absolutely wrecked him up, bro. Just, she absolutely left her in the dust. That's going to be a distance. And how do I feel after I come second? I think, you know, I don't think the frustration you know what? I'm going to be real with myself. I think it's mostly winning or losing is not the literal title which matters to me, but it, in the context of a competition, is at least somewhat reflective of how well or poorly you might or may have played, right? Like, you've done pretty well if whatever you did and you also won. You know, whatever metric or whatever strategy you might be doing, it's kind of more like a proof of evaluation that your strategy is working or / not working, right? That's what kind of comes to mind, I think. And due to that, it's sort of like I guess that ends up meaning that not winning is frustrating. Not because it's not winning, but it's more like, oh, it's sort of like you're metrically trying to test your own strategy or something, and it's like, oh, you know, it fell a bit short, and it's sort of like, well, how do you make it better? If it was more like a competition where you get ranked on 0 to 100 or something, when it's like, oh, you got 9, oh, I just pulled off one of my keycaps. You got like 98 or something, but then the person who won got like 100, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, what can you do about it? I say this, but again, I don't know if that's necessarily true to how I feel. I think your mileage may vary. Like, maybe I'm trying to play a little bit quiet because I'm just like, oh, you know, if I pretend I care that much, then it hurts every time I don't win. Like, is there some sort of prideful emotion sitting underneath it? I don't think so. I think I am, like, quite straightforwardly optimization based, so maybe I shouldn't try to be reading into something which might not necessarily exist. So anyway, second place. I still think you should take pride in second place, to be honest. Podiuming at all is a very impressive feat. And also, second place is a very good Game Changer episode if you want to go watch that. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.